Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, I Don't Work Here, Lady, That's Why I Refuse Your Tip. Obligatory. It happened a while back. Out with a friend eating dinner at a restaurant. Friday night and it was quite packed. I excused myself to go to the loo. On the way back a lady stopped me. My dear, would you mind showing me the restrooms? So I pointed her the way. She gripped my arm and asked if I could accompany her as she's quite elderly with poor eyesight and sometimes lost her balance. I helped her throughout the process, down to assisting her in powdering her nose. She handed me a note, quite a good sum I would say, when we got out of the bathroom to my utter confusion. Told her I didn't work there, was just being courteous by helping her out. Her face went red, she started apologizing profusely. I laughed, said it's all good and took her back to her table. When I called for the check by end of the night, our server told us it has been taken care of by the elderly lady who's dining with her equally elderly husband. I swung by their table to thank her and she gave me a hug. Yeah lady, I don't work here but that's okay. A little kindness never hurt anyone. Note to self, don't wear black blouse with black jeans to a restaurant where the server's uniform is an all-black ensemble. The next story is titled, A Wild Karen Meets Her Match. For background, I am a police officer in Australia. I work in plain clothes. At work I wear a business shirt with tie, suit pants, and have my utility belt with gun, taser, pepper spray and all other necessary accoutrements on the belt. I also have a police badge clipped to my belt and another police badge with my work ID around my neck. This incident also happened while coronavirus was spreading rapidly. Most business had been closed by government mandate. People have to ensure they are practicing social distancing or they can be fined. The government hasn't mandated that people stay home but have limited the number of people allowed in groups, no contact with strangers, and you should only out for work or essential supplies. It's also important to know that in Australia, members of the public cannot carry firearms in public and it's difficult to get a license to even possess a firearm. A few days ago I was at work and my partner needed to buy supplies from an office supply store nearby. The stuff at this store wear far blue polo shirts. We went to the store and my partner was getting everything she needed. I was waiting when I hear this screeching voice from behind me, where are the charges? I turn around and see this Karen standing there with her arms crossed, glaring at me. Now let me remind you that I'm wearing all my work gear, and a bright pink long sleeve business shirt. I say to the Karen, I'm not sure where the Karen is not impressed and cuts me off, steps very close to me, well within what I consider my personal space at the best of times, but when I'm at work, it's an offensive gesture. Karen then screeches, you work here, how the hell do you not know where charges are? I look the Karen dead in the eye and with a stern voice say, first thing, I don't work here. Second thing, I'm a police officer. I point at my gun, taser and badge. Third thing, you are currently breaching social distancing laws and can be fined. Step back now. The Karen quickly turned around and ran from the store. I'm just happy that actual staff didn't have to deal with her because she was rude from the start. I should have pointed out that a phone charger isn't an essential purchase. The next story is titled, Appears I Meet the Requirements. Welcome to Boxmart. I'm the guy in black scrubs and a lanyard that says FBI crime scene, do not cross, attached to a badge with not this place clearly named. Never mind, I'm with my wife and kid. Twice I wander off to grab something we skipped or forgot. Twice randoms ask me where to find things, frozen veggies, frozen seafood section, both oddly placed IMO, both times, I'm not too sure, I don't work here and I try to avoid this place, sorry, and on we go. Now I'm reaching atop the high shelf to get a meal replacement drink because I often need to not feel hunger pain while not having time to properly handle it. I'm reading the label and chatting with wifey about it, spidey sense fails me. Wife looks up behind me a couple times and I don't register that I've applied for a new job. She tugs my sleeve and clears a path for Karen saying, scooch over babe, I think she needs in, and I move while turning and saying, sorry, lost in the label. My application has been accepted, I'm hired and I start my new position 15 seconds ago. I receive a verbal warning for conduct immediately. When you're done messing around I need you to show me where a relevant item is. Your useless kids just point and send me the wrong way. Took about 10 full seconds of blinking, thinking and checking my outfit to realize all you need is a lanyard of any kind to get a job here. Coincidentally, it takes the same amount of time for a wild Karen to ignore all the signs present and become enraged at not having their demands met with groveling. Are you useless too? Let's go, I need a relevant item today. I give wifey a good solid kiss, she blinks and stares confused. Be back in a sec beautiful, be good for mommy buddy. Kiddo doesn't think much but wifey catches on, really? Okay then, have fun. I check my badge again just to see if the ignition kicks on for Karen, appears to run on steam and the coal fire is heating up. I'm pretty new but we'll find it, right this way ma'am. She made it down 4 aisles that most definitely wouldn't have what she wanted before mentioning my incompetence. I can't see why they'd put you in charge. I can't help but agree, I'm right there with you, ma'am. Seems like a major oversight. She follows through pet food, by the fish and through shoes but draws the line at electronics. I'm looking for a relevant food item, why would you take me here? There's no food back here at all. It's been fun but I'm bored and she's either gonna get the point shortly or never. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe we should get someone that works here. Should we try at the register? They can probably call a manager from there. Looks like the employment in my state kicked in. She walked off toward the food and I haven't received next week's schedule. I'm not hurt though, the pay was terrible. The next story is titled, No, This Is Your Job. I'm a high school student, 17. I attend a school where the teachers aren't very strict and often leave the classroom to go smoke a cig or something. I wear glasses, so the teachers often think I'm smart, even though I'm not. Our third period just started, we went into the classroom. I don't know how schools abroad are, but we go from room to room every period, take our seats and while everyone is pulling out their books, the teacher goes, I'm going to leave the classroom, probably for the whole period. She pointed at me, you are in charge now, teach them something. Me, who wasn't paying attention to what she said, huh? Teacher, don't me, you know what I just told you. Do your job. She leaves the room, leaving all of us confused. The ones who were actually listening to what she said explained the situation to me. So I thought I might as well explain the last topic to them, since I remembered it pretty well, and because the exams are coming up and nobody has a single clue what the topic is about. So I proceed to teach the class instead of my teacher, with everybody thanking me because they finally understand the topic. Towards the end of the period, the teacher cones back, sees the whiteboard and goes, what are you doing? You were supposed to teach him this. She pulls out a paper with the topic she was supposed to teach us. You had one job and you couldn't even do that right. I'm a rather calm person, but here I just lost my temper and begin to raise my voice. My job? My job? I'm not a teacher, I'm supposed to be sitting there, in the seat where my stuff is and learning from you. She realized what she just said and was just staring blankly at her papers while the rest of us left the room because the period ended. The next story is titled, I Should Leave My Apron On More Often. A little backstory, I volunteer with a group that serves up to 40 people who are aged 60 and over for lunch 1 day a week. It's good for them to get together and sometimes it's the only time people get out of their houses in the week. The only uniform we have are these aprons with the group name embroidered on them. Anyway, I'd forgotten that I was wearing my apron after we'd finished the washing up and I popped into the local convenience shop for coffee because they had a deal on filter coffee. I was browsing the options when I felt a soft tap on my back. I turned around and there was a little girl stood behind me. She smiled and asked very politely where the strawberries were. I showed her and she picked out her strawberries and ran back to her mum. Her mum later came up to me in the queue and told me that she was sorry her little girl disturbed me whilst I was shopping because she thought I worked there because of my apron. I told her it was no trouble. She then asked about my apron, and after telling her about the group she asks me if she can come and help out. I give her the details and hopefully I'll see her next week. The next story is titled, I know this is the wrong number, but I still don't believe you. I used to get frequent calls on my mobile phone, asking for, let's call him, Mr. Wong. That wasn't his name, but it was a Chinese name, and I'm Chinese too. So I'm allowed to make a Wong number joke. This was in 2014 or so. As far as I can tell, Mr. Wong had printed up business cards, had some kind of flyer, or ad, whatever, with the wrong number. Namely, my number. It seems his potential customers or clients really did have my exact phone number, not just something close to it. Most of the time, people were apologetic when I explained what was going on. They got the message when I said I wasn't Mr. Wong, I didn't know Mr. Wong, and definitely didn't work for him. There was some kind of mistake with his business info. Most people caught on pretty quick, and it was all good. But there was this one guy. He kept calling back, and he absolutely refused to accept my explanation. In the end, it went something like this. Guy, look, just tell him. Quote, me, sir, this is my phone. I don't know him. I don't know how to reach him. You've got the wrong number. Guy, is this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8? Me, yes, it is. That's not. Quote, Guy, then I've got the correct number, stop telling me I've made a mistake. Me, I'm not saying that, sir. I'm sure you did dial 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It's just that the number you have isn't right. I think he's been giving out mine by accident. Guy, no, that can't be it. Me, I'm not sure what to tell you. That's it. Guy, did you just change your number? You've got Wong's old number. Me, no, sir, definitely not. Guy, you got a new line, and what's your phone company? They gave you Wong's number. Me, no, I'm sure that isn't it. But even if it was, Quote, Guy, those telcos shouldn't be doing that. Me, well, Quote, Guy, you should tell them, they gave you Wong's number. Me, I've had this phone number for years. Guy, no, that can't be, this is Wong's number. When did you get this number? You must have changed your number. Now, at this point I was vaguely incredulous. I mean, the guy's finally acknowledged he's got the wrong person, and yet he's still questioning me? I probably should have just hung up, but... Me, sir, that's none of your business, but fine. I've had this number for 15 years, now. Guy, that's not possible, Wong. Quote, me, 3 years of school, 3 years of army, 6 years in uni, 2 years of work. No, you're right, that's 14 years, not 15. Sorry. Guy, well, but who had the number before? It must have been Wong's number before. He must have had it before you. I swear I'm not embellishing, he really asked me that. It was a ridiculous question. I'm not responsible for the ancient history of my own phone number. Looking back, I think, maybe he wanted me to admit that maybe someone else had the phone number in the past, so he could claim he was right. Or something. But, as it happened. Me, unless Mr. Wong is a woman and my mother, I don't think so. Guy, but. Me, she got this line around 1995, sir. For the office. I took over the account afterwards. Guy, but maybe it was Wong's. Quote, me, this number used to be attached to a Nokia with an antenna we had to pull out. Guy, but. Quote, me, sir, my family's had this number since the 1990s. We're probably the only ones who've ever had it. Even if Wong had the number once, he's given you a number that's 20 years out of date. Guy, I guess I've got the wrong number. Me, you have the wrong number. Guy, oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Me, no problem. Have a good evening. Well, at least I won. I think. I don't get calls for Mr. Wong anymore, so there's that, at least. The next story is titled, I'm actually here to attend your party, not cater it. I forgot this happened to me years ago when I was still in HS. It's not a fabulous story but still gives me a chuckle what a beard can do to your apparent age. During this time I was still in touch with an old friend who had moved to a different school. I was conveniently able to see him sometimes through a distance learning class along with his new friends. One of his new friends was kind enough to invite me to their birthday party. It was a very fancy one, so we were asked to wear formal clothing. I obliged, because being a chubster and all, layers made me look less fat. So I decked myself out to look super professional. Groomed my beard and had the nice milady vibe going. I was untouchable. I got to the address and boy howdy was the place they rented fancy. I was rather early so I placed my stuff in the corner. The hosts and I chatted for a bit while we waited for everyone else to come. It wasn't long and eventually a cluster of people came in, caterers, other teens, a DJ. I started to blend in, chat with others and get friendly. The party was very nice. I decided to sit by a bunch of ladies I never met while we ate. We talked about dildos, a bunch about dumb political stuff and acting. I got up and started asking people what they wanted and started just handing out drinks. Just trying to be friendly. I kept getting weird looks from the kids' parents, no clue why. Party keeps going, I play pool, eat, dance to some Take On Me by a-ha. I lose my voice from screaming. You know how parties go. This keeps on while I still notice the parents overlooking me constantly. I started to ease down cause I was getting uncomfortable. Finally, the end of the party arrives and there's a bit where the family had a projector with all these family photos of them in it. It was time to take it out and show everyone how gushy and cute the family was or something. One of the hosts, the mother, comes up to me and said, "Could you at least grab the projector for us?" And I got very confused. I asked her what she was talking about, and she rants on, "You have barely done anything all night, you could at least grab and set up our projector." And it finally connects. This chick thinks I've been ducking around all night instead of catering the party. I just laughed and said, "I'm sorry, but I'm here to attend your daughter's party. What did you think I was here for?" She gets beet red. At this point everyone else is looking and realized what's going on too. The daughter had to come over and explain that I was a guest. I quickly went to use the restroom to get out of that interaction, cause duck that. I wasn't bothered for the 30 minutes that were left of the party though, plus I got a girl's number, so bonus. The next story is titled, I Got Mistaken for a Child Trafficker. Not quite your usual I don't work here lady story. Just for a bit of background, I was on a camping trip with a scouting group for people aged 14 to 18. There were about 13 children and 3 adults there if I remember correctly. We had a minibus with a trailer on the back to hold our kit. We had just gotten back from the trip and had arrived at the scout hall to drop off the kit. We formed a sort of conveyor belt system to move stuff around and I was at the front of the conveyor belt. We were about halfway through moving everything when a man who looked as though he had probably taken every drug known to man on the daily came up to me and grabbed me by the shoulder. Just for context, I'm pretty tall, almost 6 feet, but I am very skinny and I am often mistaken for an adult because of it. He dragged me over and asked me if we were child trafficker, which obviously stunned me. I couldn't process how someone could just assume that. He then asked me again. This time I just told him, "What? Of course not." He, unlike most people on this subreddit, seemed to get the message for once and apologized. He told us that if we were, he probably would have beaten us up. Of course my first thought was why on earth would someone do that, and now my thoughts are I am very bad ass. The next story is titled, Hangry Family Threatens to Leave Bad Yelp Review. So this is gonna be a short story. It was a couple months ago when I was on my lunch break and I decided to go eat at this Hawaiian barbecue place in the same plaza as my workplace. I'm sitting there eating my food when a family walks in and stands at the cashier stand. The cashier was in the back, there's a bell to call them, so the father starts tapping his feet in that annoying, "I'm waiting" sort of way while looking at me. I'm kind of unconfrontational, so I look down and keep eating. Then he says, "Service here is terrible, I'm gonna Yelp that employees here ignore customers when they enter." Well, now I have to speak up because I don't want that place to get overrun with bad reviews if I can't help it. So I go, "You know I don't work here, right?" Dude suddenly turns 180 and starts apologizing. And says the one thing I'll never forget. He said, "You're lucky cause I was close to throwing your food in your face." He said it in a joking way, but I wouldn't put it past him. So I tell him to ring the bell and finish my food and leave. I go back to work and an hour later I see them in my store and hurried to a different area to avoid them. The next story is titled, I Almost Went to Customer Service and Asked Where I Should Send an Invoice for My Labor. Last week I was working on my kitchen. Long story short, this was a 4th out of 6 trips I would be making trying to find plumbing fittings that worked with my house. I am wearing old jeans and a really old Oscar the Grouch shirt. They both have paint, and whatever else collects on sacrificial work clothes. It's 8:30 p.m. and I'm in the plumbing section of a large hardware store, the blue one not the orange one, looking at fitting when an older couple with a small section of hose walk up and start looking at the wall of fittings. They look for a few minutes and eventually the guy looks at me and asks, "So I'm trying to. What do you recommend?" I looked up like Jim from The Office thinking to myself, "What? Me? Dude, I'm trying to figure this stuff out too." By sheer happenstance I had done what he was trying to do and said he needed to go to Lawn and Garden on the other side of the building and they sell hose repair, extension kit and it's super easy. I explained the process and he left that aisle. I turned to leave when another guy, hearing our conversation, had a plumbing fitting in his hand, started right in with his issue. He explained what he was doing, and sure enough it was going to take 2 parts, but I pointed them out and showed him the stuff. He said thanks and I started down the aisle. But a third person shouted out, "Hey, I have a question too." All I could think was, where are all the employees? I came back and said I don't work here to the lady, and she said, "Oh, but you're answering questions." I let her know I was just trying to be helpful. Not even kidding, she just asks away. Funny thing is, she is looking for a new refrigerator water line. She was standing next to them. They were labeled Ice Maker Water Line. I asked, "Those?" and pointed. After a few embarrassed thank yous, I left. I helped 3 customers at a store I don't work at. I was really close to asking a manager, "What would you say you do here?" It's frustrating that these stores staff so far down that customers get desperate enough to ask complete strangers. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.